question. Let me answer this. All right, so this is a great question by Rednivog here in the chat room, actually, one of my Ustreamers. He writes, is there a specific type of guitar I should look into in order to begin playing? And that's a great question, very common question. What guitar should I get? What guitar should I get? By the way, right here behind that was the student's one. Spike says get a cheap one. I use a laptop every day. Okay, so that's a good question. The answer is that it depends on what you're playing, and it depends where you want to go with it. Okay, if you're in a death metal band, I wouldn't really recommend getting a classical guitar, right? Because you're probably going to want to join a band, maybe play a couple shows or whatever. So then, obviously, that narrows everything down to just an electric guitar. Then it goes down to, you know, what style guitar, what genre of music, things like that. But then, if you want to play classical guitar, obviously get a classical guitar. If you wanted to play country or bluegrass, I would say get an acoustic guitar. Or what they have is they have acoustic electric guitars, where it's acoustic guitars that can be plugged into amplifiers and be, you know, obviously amplified. Okay, so that's the couple things to look into with that. And what I would recommend for guitars is that just play the one that you like. I mean, when I played my guitar, I knew right away that it was just the best guitar I've ever played in my life. And I still have it. It's right here. It's actually this guy right here. And I love it. It's my favorite guitar in the whole world. There's no other guitar I'd rather have. So when you're looking for a guitar, when you play the one that's right for you, where all the frets feel right, the strings, you know, all that stuff feels right, the way it sits, the way it sounds, the way it feels, all that stuff, you'll know. You'll know in the first 5 minutes of playing that guitar, you're like, you know what, this is the one. And don't ever, ever, ever choose a guitar because of its price. I've played guitars, and I mean this, I've played guitars that have cost $100 that sound and play better than guitars that cost $1,500. It's just how, yeah, it's just how I feel, and it's just the way I am. It's like, play the guitar first. Don't look at the price tag. Play that guitar. If you don't like it, then don't look at the price tag. Who cares about it? Put it down, then walk over to the next one, you know? But play the guitar, and if it feels good, then look at the price tag. If it's too expensive, then you put it down, then you move on. If it's not too expensive, then you know what? You found your baby. And if it's in the right genre of the right style, whether it's classical guitar, classical acoustic electric, or electric, whatever it is, you'll know right away. And in addition to that, yeah, think about the genre that you're playing. If your friends all play electric guitar, then that might, you know, have you play electric guitar. There's also a cool little trick that I use a lot, is that when you have to play a gig on electric guitar, or when you have to write a song on electric guitar, a great technique or a great tactic, would you call it, or trick, is to learn all your music on an acoustic guitar. Why would you do that? That's stupid. No, it's not stupid. Because what you're doing is that you're forcing yourself to not have the luxury of standing behind distortion, and that you're forcing your songwriting and your playing to not be hidden or to be in the back of a shadow, and that it's all right there in front of you. You don't have anything as a safety net. And you'll notice that your writing will get a lot better. It'll sound, if I write music on a piano, it'll sound completely different than if I write it on a guitar. If I write music on a classical guitar, it'll sound completely different than if I were to have written it on an electric guitar. Just because there's different ways that you think about the instrument and that you see it differently, the notes on the paper. When you're looking at a guitar that's maybe plugged into an electric amplifier, of course you can do more embellishments and things with an electric than you can with an acoustic. But that there's something about an acoustic that I think is very cool. And when it comes to writing, that's a very powerful tool, is to use acoustic. So if it's a songwriting thing, use acoustic. Even if it's a death metal thing, right? Acoustic might be the way to go, man, if you can afford it. Also, with an electric, you're going to have to get an amplifier, too. And then there's pedals and things, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. But, yeah, don't underestimate the electric doesn't stop once you buy the guitar in terms of the price of it. And the acoustic, there's a lot of things that you can buy for the acoustic too. But the acoustic can also plug in. But don't want to beat a dead horse, but I hope that answers your question. Just ask around, talk to people, find out what works, try and get some good reputable guitar companies. I don't know any ones that you really are into because I don't know what type of style you play or anything. But there's a bunch of them out there. Definitely check them out though. And I hope that answers your question. And don't ever go by price. Okay, go by feeling because at the end of the day, that's all you have. That's all we all have.